How has your intake process changed from when you started to where you are now? How much do you spend more time? Are you more diligent? I know I've seen you. I see a note here that reminds me, as a constant reminder to me, is to say less to more people. And the reason I'm asking you is I think you've mastered that art to be able to be super effective, but I'd like you to share how that affects your intake process and how you approach that when you meet a new prospect.
One of the things that I've focused on has been to identify the personality, because I think your ability to be more effective with somebody on the phone all depends on what sort of personality they are. So once you can figure that out, some of my calls initially are very short, and I don't get into the stories and stuff because it's not the right time. But over time, you build a relationship with that person because they feel like you actually understand them. And that's when you can start to build on that relationship.
Is it fair to say, Matt, that first call, albeit short, maybe sweet, and you say I don't necessarily take the time at that point to get in the conversation of their story, our story kind of thing, would you say that that's not also kind of resembles one of those benign touches? Like, I want to make a quick touch, I want to make a quick call, I want them to know I'm here kind of thing, kind of set the pace, set the stage for a future conversation that may be longer. Is that kind of along that line?
Yeah, because you'll get on the phone with somebody and you can tell what kind of personality they are. They're that eye. They're the realtor that sometimes you can't get them to stop talking, and those are moments where you can have a long conversation with them. You can really get into it. You can get to know who they are. They're fun, bubbly sorts of personalities. But a lot of people that we talk to might be an attorney, and they're very short on the phone. And if you try to, engage them and stuff, then you haven't identified that they're busy right now, and that might be a turnoff to people. But then when you talk to them a couple times and you've respected them and you can identify that personality and what they're going through at that moment, because a lot of this, it's not face to face, it's all over the phone. So you have to really you got to be a master at that. And once you can master that, then you can build on that relationship where they actually they like you because you've never bothered them. How long does it take you to identify somebody's personality? I think for some of us it's easier than others, but I would say for me, I can usually pick it up in about 10 seconds of who they are.
Do you use like the Travelers type program that they have? Have you done that training with Travelers where they have like the different personalities laid out?
I haven't done Travelers, but I've done a couple other ones. One is a DISC, which I think last year the DISC personality types.
Right.
That's kind of what I go to. I think they're all very similar. But yeah, there it is.
Is it safe to say, Matt, that's your personal development when it comes to that activity?
Yeah, I think that was one of my strongest skill sets. I think that it is my strongest skill set, but I've worked at it and really honed in and tried to make that good.
So if Matt were diagnosing that portion, I mean, the question Taylor just asked, I mean, he's researching and finding a solution to understanding personality better. You referenced Travelers. What I love about those two points is that those are how-tos. Back up a couple steps, good attitude, good approach makes learning that outcome and implementing that outcome way better and easier. So I love that.
And we have so many resources at our fingertips. Like,
sure.
It takes 2 seconds to Google somebody's name, and you can, as long as it's not John Smith, you can usually find out, who they are. And maybe they're a doctor, maybe they're, maybe they own a restaurant. You can find out all these little things about them, and when you call them, you can start building that rapport right from the first call. So.